What up? What up? What up? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, you are now tuned in to a brand new video of Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. I am your host with the most, the Hood's ESPN, Crystal Street's very own, Dre Day. What's up? What's up? What's up? Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support of the podcast. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's right there, bottom of the screen. Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. Also hit that notification bell so that way once a video is uploaded to YouTube, you will get a notification letting you know that I dropped a new video. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. This video here is going to be a long one. Well, I'm going to try to not make it a long one, but college football national championship recap and also the 4 divisional round playoff games is on the agenda. So the first thing I want to do is I was going to do NFL first, but after watching this college football national championship game, it's only right that I start off with that. And first, shout out to the Miami Hurricanes. Shout out to the Miami Hurricanes. First off, I don't have a college football team. Let's just get that out the way. You know, there's certain sports where I have a favorite team. Football is not one of them. I don't have a favorite NFL team. I don't have a favorite college football team. But I was rooting for the U to win this game just for nostalgia reasons, right? Obviously, Indiana was clearly the better team. But for nostalgia reasons, I was going for the U to pull this off. And to add to the fact that it was at home, at their crib, I'm like, yeah, I'm really rooting for them because, I mean, what was it? Just not too long ago in the NFL, you had the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Los Angeles Rams host the Super Bowl in their crib, and they wound up winning. So I was kind of hoping that the U would do that as well, being that it was in Miami, being that it was in Hard Rock Stadium where they play their home games and the Miami Dolphins play their home games. So I was kind of hoping that they'll pull it off. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. It was definitely a good game. It was definitely a good game to say the least. It didn't really start cooking to about the second half. I would say that first half was very bland, to say the least. But that's a testament to both teams' defense. Like, neither team could really get anything off. It wasn't until that second half where things really started getting interesting. And I definitely want to give credit to the Indiana Hoosiers. Their first national title. When you think of Indiana Hoosiers, you're thinking of basketball. You're thinking of basketball. You're not really thinking about football. And in 2 years, what Kurt Signetti has been able to do for the Hoosiers for these 2 years has been nothing but amazing. So gotta salute the Indiana Hoosiers. Mendoza, who is looking to be the number 1 pick in this year's 2026 NFL draft. I'm not going to say that he played great. I would say that he had key moments because, like I said, the first half was very bland. The fourth quarter was when he really started heating up. There was 3 key plays that he made. A 3rd and 7 to Becker, a back shoulder fade that you had to basically convert to keep the drive going. And he was able to do that. And I think they got a field goal out of it later on in that drive. And then He converted on I want to say he converted on a 4th down to Becker again. And then another 4th down where, again, if you watch the game, the field goal unit was out there, but Kurt Signetti caught the timeout, put his offense back out there, and Mendoza just went quarterback sneak and got it in the end zone for a touchdown. So I got to give him credit for that. Again, he didn't have a great game offensively, but those 3 plays definitely won that game for Indiana. For sure. They defense, like I said, their defense was lights out in the first half. They had a block punt, which is something that they're very famous for. So not only was it a block punt, but they got it in the end zone and it was a touchdown. So that's something that Indiana has a history of doing this season, where they will block punts. But this one, they was able to block the punt and then take it in the end zone for a touchdown. So again, it was a very good game. But Miami did not give up. They did not roll over and die, even though they was the underdog. And they was the underdog in more ways than one. But I definitely want to salute their running back, Fletcher Jr., and I want to salute their receiver. I believe his name is Tony, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to muffle up nobody's name. Tony was his name. I definitely don't want to muffle up nobody's name. But them two was the unsung heroes in this game for the U. Obviously, Beck threw a horrible interception to close out the game. It seemed like Sharp, who was the cornerback for Indiana, it's like he knew that was coming. It's like he was prepared for it. It was man-to-man coverage, but you can clearly see the safety on the top waiting to help. And Beck just underthrew it. Sharp turned around, caught it, and that's what ended the game. Because shit, like that last drive, all you need is a touchdown to win. Because prior to that, the last drive, Indiana could have put an end to it. They could have put an end to it. But they only got a field goal out of that last drive. They could have ended it. If they would have got a first down on that last drive for Indiana, if Indiana would have got a first down on that last drive, the game would have been over. But I think they received the penalty, which pushed them 5 yards back. And then, of course, you want to, run the ball so that you can use their timeouts. They couldn't get the first down, so they had to settle for a field goal. And then that next drive, Miami came out, and even they had a penalty. In fact, they got a penalty on first down, the first play, delay a game, because they wasn't prepared. So could that have factored into the possible interception? Probably so. So time management and clock management was definitely something that rendered the Hurricanes on that last drive, but great game nonetheless. I was very impressed. Hell, this was the first college football playoff game that was very good to begin from beginning to end, because in all these years, and I'm just talking about college football playoff, like ever since this college football playoff thing has been in play, I think the last time a college football playoff was this great, I might have to go back to 2017, where I think Alabama and Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, that might have been the last time, because every national championship game after that, it was either a blowout or a team that we didn't expect to be there went and they got their ass smoked. Who was it? It was A few years ago, it was Michigan against Washington. And we all knew what the outcome was going to be. We all knew. We knew Michigan was going to win. We just didn't think it was going to be a blowout. It was one year, I think it was LSU against Clemson, and LSU put boots to ass to Clemson, which was kind of an upset because at that time Clemson was one of those teams that was looking to be a dynasty, you can say, and LSU just put the beats on them. Last year, Ohio State beat Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame was in the national title game, but we all knew they wasn't going to win. We all knew it was a foregone conclusion that Ohio State was going to win the national championship. And then even this game, like, even though I wanted the U to win, it didn't shock me that Indiana won. Because like I said, they were the best team all year round. They went 16-0. They did the perfect season. So it wasn't shocking that they won. Great game, to say the least. This is one of those games where I can say, you know what, I may want to watch that again. I may want to, tune in and spin the block and watch it again. All those previous national championship games I was just talking about, not going to do that for those games. But for this one, absolutely. Definitely, absolutely. But salute to the Indiana Hoosiers on their perfect season and winning their first ever national championship in college football. And even salute to the U. I definitely want to salute them. It's been years since they was even in a national title game. So it's been like 20-something years that they was in a national title game. And even though they lost, and it was at their crib, which was crazy to me because if you watch that game was pro, like that crowd was pro Indiana. I totally underestimated that. I was thinking like them fans, that's going to be a pro Miami crowd. And it was the total opposite. So the U was so Miami was underdogs on the field, and it was underdogs in the crowd because that crowd was pro Hoosier. But again, salute to both teams. And another reason why I'm saluting both of them is because nobody expected them to be there. Like when the season first started, when the college football season first started, and again, I know I don't do college football coverage like that, but I felt the need to do it because, again, it was such a great game. Before this season started, nobody had these two teams in the college football playoff. Hell, there was people complaining that Miami even made the college football playoff because they had two losses. They played in the ACC. They didn't win. They didn't win their conference, so you had a lot of people complaining about them making the playoffs. Because remember, those like the three teams that everybody was riffing about was Alabama, Miami, and Notre Dame. Two of those three teams made the final spots. And the two teams that made it was Miami and Alabama. And a lot of people was not too happy about that. So the fact that they was able to weather the complaints, get to the college football playoff, and get to the title game, gotta salute them. And then, like I said, Indiana, like I said, when you think of Hoosiers, you think of basketball, right? You don't think of college football dominance. And what they did this year, I took them serious when they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten conference game. That's when I took them serious. Because prior to that, I didn't. I felt they had an easy schedule, yada, yada, yada. When they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten conference championship, that's when I was like, oh, yeah, this team might actually do something. They might actually do something. And I ain't going to lie. I thought Alabama would beat them. Obviously, I was wrong on that because they put boots to ass to them in that game. In fact, this was the only playoff game that they had where it was challenging. The other two games were easy victories. Easy. But yes, salute to the Miami Hurricanes and salute to the Indiana Hoosiers on a great college football national title game. And again, salute to the Hoosiers for their first ever college football national championship, just national championship, period. So salute to them for that. Now let's get to some NFL talk. And I hope y'all ready because I got a lot to talk about when it comes to this NFL talk. Again, there was 4 games this past weekend. It was 4 games. You had the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. Now, it's going to be some people that is not going to like this. But you got to call a spade a spade. You just got to call a spade a spade. The Denver Broncos won 33-30. Now, yes. We all know about the pass and overtime. Now, I watched the game. Okay? I was with the missus and I was watching the game. And when it happened, I thought it was a catch. I felt that the receiver had it, and he even had it when he landed on the ground. He had it. So for me, it's like baseball. The tie goes to the runner. In this situation, I thought that he had it. The refs thought otherwise. They gave it to Denver. So I guess you could say Denver got that home cooking. And then even shockingly after that, they didn't even review it. Usually in a situation like that, you would review it. They went straight to showing the replay, and then they just said, oh, it's Denver ball. Usually, it'd be a review for a situation like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But let's get to the elephant in the room. Let's get to the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room, Josh Allen. Now, I said this, I want to say the weekend that the Kansas City Chiefs were eliminated from playoff contention. I forgot exactly which week it was. But when they got bumped, I know they lost to the Chargers. When they lost that game, that took them out of playoff contention. They were eliminated. I said there's no excuse for Josh Allen to not get to the Super Bowl because his kryptonite was gone. And I know I might have said this a few weeks ago on this platform. But at that time, which would be a little over a month ago, I said there's no excuse for Josh Allen to not make the Super Bowl. Your kryptonite is not even in there. He's not in the playoffs, so you ain't even got to worry about him. Because aside from that one loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, which was, I want to say, 2 years ago, aside from that loss to Cincinnati, every other loss he sustained in the playoffs was to the Kansas City Chiefs, whether it was in the divisional round or the AFC championship game. There was no excuse. None. I think it was 2 times they met in the divisional round, and it was 2 times they met in the championship round. And all 4 times, he came up empty-handed against the Kansas City Chiefs. I said it was no excuse. No excuse. So he plays Jacksonville. Plays good. But I was like, I expected you to beat them. Let's see what you do with Denver. And what did he do? He didn't play very well. See, he had a few clutch plays in the fourth quarter, which he did. But he also threw 2 interceptions and he had 2 fumble losses. 3 in total. 3 in total. Josh Allen blew that game for the Buffalo Bills. There's no other way around it. And I'm going to play a clip of somebody that I don't even agree with like that. This is somebody that I don't agree with on certain occasions, but on this one, I'm actually going to agree with him. I do not agree with Cam Newton on a lot of topics. But when it comes to this one, this clip that I'm about to play, I 100% agree with him. So hopefully y'all can hear the clip.
Tiptoeing around the obvious issue here, and it's the underperforming Josh Allen. Talk about it. Like, I mean, as a person who was this was supposed to be his year. The quarterbacks that you're going up against or potentially going up against was Bo Nix, Drake May, and C.J. Stroud. And when you start to think about your performance in Denver, you had an opportunity to win, and you didn't. So as we critique Josh Allen, people are losing their jobs because of Josh Allen. You have out of all the turnovers, the worst turnover for me was the one right before the half because it was a 10-point swing right there. And now, how much did you lose by, Mr. Schrager? 3 points. So all these different things comes down to one specific individual that you're going to give him the opportunity to say, hey, what do you want? Man, hell no. No, it ain't what you want. This is where we're going. And wow.
I'm not going to play the other clip because he was talking something about Josh Allen's clutch gene. Now, not having the clutch gene. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't because, again, there was some playoff rounds where he showed the clutch gene. All right. One of those playoff games against the Chiefs, he definitely had the clutch gene. So I'm not going to sit here and say he don't have the clutch gene. But for this series, but for this game right here, oh yeah, that loss was on him. That loss was definitely on him. And I don't even watch ESPN like that no more because I'm about tired of First Take. I'm about tired of Stephen A. Smith. Honestly, the only day I honestly would try to watch is Wednesday. And it ain't even for Stephen A. It's because of Mad Dog. But the point is this. I don't agree with Cam Newton on several takes. But on this one, he's 100% right on the money. Because I don't know what it is. In fact, I kind of do know what it is. When it comes to Josh Allen, when it comes to Justin Herbert, hell, shit, they was even making excuses for Trevor Lawrence against Buffalo. They make excuses for these quarterbacks when they stank up the joint. But could you imagine what they would have said if Lamar Jackson would have had this type of game? Could you imagine what they would have said if Jalen Hurts would have had this type of game? Can you imagine? So what Cam Newton was basically saying on that clip is have the same energy that you would have for the black quarterbacks. That's basically what he's saying. And I'm 100% with him. Now, what he also said is that you're getting coaches fired. It was just reported earlier today that the Buffalo Bills fired their head coach, Sean McDermott, which is another thing I predicted. I said that if the Buffalo Bills do not get to the Super Bowl, Sean McDermott was gone. Because it's getting to the point where Buffalo's window is closing. You've had all these opportunities to get to a Super Bowl. Y'all have never been to the Super Bowl. Now, Buffalo has been to 4 Super Bowls in their history. None of them have been recently. They've all have been in the 90s, and I was alive for those Super Bowls. They went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost all 4 of them. But in this millennium, starting 2000, they have not stepped foot in a Super Bowl. So for all of these years that Buffalo was making these runs, they never tasted a Super Bowl game. And before this season started, I said, the window might be closing for Buffalo if they don't do nothing this year. And then you see the emergence of the New England Patriots. Because again, for the past few years, the Buffalo Bills ran away with the AFC East. Ever since Brady left New England, Buffalo was running away with the division. And then you fast forward to this year, where a shockingly and improving New England Patriots, not only did they beat you once, I think they beat you. Oh no. They split the season series. They was blowing Buffalo out the second game, but Buffalo came back and won, so they split it. But the point is that with the emergence of New England now, I don't think this year was a one-off for New England. Oh no. I don't think this is a one-off. But the point is that again, another year empty-handed for Josh Allen. Another year. And I get one of his offensive linemen pulled the TO when TO was like, "That's my teammate. That's my quarterback." Like he tried to pull that off in the post-game press conference. He tried to pull that off with crocodile tears. Man, get out of here with that bullshit, yo. Get out of here with that. But yes, the Denver Broncos have advanced to the AFC Championship game, but it came at a cost. Because that last drive that went into overtime, that last offensive drive for the Denver Broncos, Bo Nix broke his ankle. Now, again, we didn't know about this until the end of the game. Because when it happened, I think he tried to quarterback sneak it or something, got back up, and continued to play. So we didn't even know about the injury until the end of the game. The Niners and Seahawks game was just starting, and we found out. I'm like, whoa, where that came from? I was thinking it was a joke. But then the reports started coming out that Sean Payton just announced that Bo Nix is out for the rest of the season with a broken ankle. I said, wow. And again, we knew nothing about this. Nothing about it. But salute to the Broncos. They were the number 1 seed, and now they get to defend home field for the AFC title game in their crib. And who they will be going up against? Them boys up in Fox River. The new Fox River. Wow. I said Fox River. I'm thinking of Prison Break. Shout out to the show Prison Break. If you ever watch Prison Break, great show. Great show. I recommend it. Okay. I believe it's on Hulu, and I think it might be on Netflix. But yeah. I said Fox River. Wow. I meant Foxborough. The New England Patriots. The New England Patriots beat the Houston Texans 28-16. 28-16. Now, CJ Stroud has been playing horrible in these playoffs, even against Pittsburgh. I think he had like 5 fumbles in that game. I believe he had about 5 fumbles in that game, and I think he lost 2 or 3. CJ Stroud threw 4 interceptions in this game. 4. And the Patriots didn't even play their best, to be quite honest with you. The Patriots didn't even play their best. You can make a case. Quarterback that they played, New England might have lost that game. But C.J. Stroud blew this game for Houston because the Texans defense played good. They played good. They really did. I know Stephon Diggs got in the end zone, and I wish I remembered the receiver for the Patriots. I know his number is 3. And he scored a touchdown. But aside from those 2 plays, the Texans did a good job on that Patriots defense, on that Patriots offense. C.J. Stroud is the reason why they lost that game. And the crazy thing is, I think it was halftime, and somebody on ESPN was talking about how Houston should really think about going to their backup quarterback. I forgot what his name is. I know his last name is Mills. He actually filled in for C.J. Stroud when I think C.J. was out. And I think he had won like 3 games for them. And somebody at ESPN was saying that how it might be time for them to, bring in the second string, see if he could do something. But yeah, there's no other way around it. C.J. Stroud blew this game for them. No way around it. But my prediction has come true. Somewhat. But I did say that Denver will meet New England in the AFC Championship game. And I also said the best scenario would be for New England to be the number 2 seed. I did a video a few weeks ago where I said if I was New England, I would go for that number 2 seed. I know it sounds crazy, but the reason why I said it was because New England is undefeated on the road this regular season. Their 3 losses were at the crib. They've never tasted defeat on the road. So now, in their biggest game of the season to date, they're going to be in the Mile House. They're going to be in the Mile High City. And now that you add into the fact that Bo Nix won't be playing, that the Broncos are going to rely on Jarrett Stidham, a former Patriot, to try to help the Broncos get to the Super Bowl, I like the Patriots' chances to win this game. I like it even more now because of this. And of course, again, you don't want to see nobody get hurt. Of course not. You don't want to see nobody get hurt, especially come playoff time. You want all teams to be fully healed. Well, first of all, it's playoff time, so nobody's going to be fully healed. But the point is that you want your best players out there come playoff time, because you don't want no excuses about, oh, y'all only won because such and such didn't play, or you only won because this person didn't play and this piece didn't play, and yada yada yada. Unfortunately, with this upcoming AFC Championship game, that's what's going to happen if New England does not win. If New England wins that game, if New England wins that game, which I believe they will, there's going to be people out there that say, "Oh, they only won because Bo Nix didn't play." Me personally, I think they was going to win with or without him. So, spoiler alert: my AFC prediction, my AFC Championship game prediction, is New England beating the Denver Broncos. Now, the NFC one, I still don't know yet. You got to give me some time. But the AFC one, yes, I think the New England Patriots is going to the Super Bowl, which I definitely didn't see coming. Since my man Brady left, I was like, man, their times of going to the Super Bowl is over. But that might not be the case. Might not be the case. But that's for the AFC. Now let's get to the NFC. I'm not going to waste my time on this one that much because it was so much of a blowout. The Seattle Seahawks, 41-6. Now, you want to talk about boots to asses. You want to talk about beating shit down somebody's leg. That's what the Seattle Seahawks did to the 49ers. That's what they did. Brock Purdy played horrible. The Seahawks, the Niners defense played horrible. They definitely didn't play Philly again. Seattle went to work on this Niners team. And it started the first play of the game, the kickoff return. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, the Niners is going to be in for a treat. They're going to be in for a treat. Now, spoiler alert, I did pick the Niners to win. Because, see, me, I'm still not sold on Sam Darnold. I'm sorry, I'm not. Okay? And he played decent, so still, like I'm still not convinced. Now, if he can get into the Super Bowl, then maybe I'll respect him, but still don't. You know what I'm saying? But that was the reason why I picked the Niners to win. Even though I don't respect Brock Purdy either, I'm more of a, C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey type guy. That's why I picked the Niners. But it just didn't work in my favor. It just did not work in my favor. In fact, that was my only loss this weekend. Every other divisional round game I got right except this one. Now, we talk about these coaches who constantly make these playoff runs and come back empty-handed. Kyle Shanahan is another one. Now, granted, he has 2 Super Bowls appearances to show for it. Actually, he has 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was the coordinator for the Falcons when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And then he was the head coach for the Niners for 2 Super Bowl games against the Chiefs, which he lost both of them. And then countless playoff appearances where he came up empty-handed. Now, again, the excuse for him is going to be his players were injured. That's going to be the excuse. That's going to be the excuse for him. I'm tired of hearing excuses for Kyle Shanahan. He gets so many. He gets so many. Have that same energy that you would have for a Mike Tomlin. Have that same energy. That's all I ask for. But that's not going to happen. And you know why that's not going to happen. But, again, salute to the Seahawks. They're headed to the NFC Championship game, which they will have home field advantage because they were the number 1 seed. And who they will be playing is their division rivals, the Los Angeles Rams. 20-17. This was like a defensive type game. Like this Chicago Bears and Rams game, like this was a defensive clinic by both teams. And again, I just knew it. This is why I didn't pick the Bears to win. I knew that Caleb Williams was going to blow this game for the Rams, for the Bears, and that's exactly what he did. Now, granted, fourth quarter, that last drive, they went for it on 4th down. The Rams came with the blitz. So now Caleb Williams has to run around the place to try to find a gap to where he can run. But he doesn't run. He just flings the ball in the end zone. and the wide receiver was in the back of the end zone, and he caught it, and my jaw dropped. To the point where my lady on the phone with her agent, and she like, Bab, you're loud. I'm on the phone with my agent. I was like, oh, wow, sorry. I'm like, did you not see this? Did you not see this play that just happened? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. What are we talking about here? But when that play happened, I'm like, okay, we might have something here. We might have something here with Caleb Williams. Then we get into overtime. And something just told me that he gonna blow this game. And lo and behold, interception city. And once he did that, I said, yeah, this game's over. I said, it's over. I said, the Rams is going to get right in field goal range, and that's going to be it. And that's exactly what happened. I do want to salute the Bears, though, for a great season, though. I do, because when the season started, nobody expected them to get to, like, listen, nobody expected the Chicago Bears to make the NFC divisional round. I don't even think their own fans thought that. So if you say that you did, you're lying. The Rams, on the other hand, there's some people out there that suspected that they would make the NFC Championship game. You know, one of my fellow podcasters, my man Darnell, a playmaker from Jacksonville. Yes, he's from Jacksonville, but he's not a Jaguar fan. He's a Rams fan. I'm quite sure he felt that his boys would make the NFC Championship game, and they are. So we have two NFC West teams and the NFC Championship game. And it just so happens the Seahawks have to play another rubber game against an NFC rival. This beating that they put on the Niners, that was a rubber game. I think the 49ers won the first game. Seattle won in their crib, I think the last week of the season, to win the division and get the number 1 seed. And then now, back at their crib, they put boots to asses to the Niners. And then now, they're about to have a trilogy with the Rams. And I believe that series is tied 1-1, if I'm not mistaken. So, yep, the NFC and the AFC Championship game, it's official tissue. It's the Broncos and the Patriots and the Rams and the Buccaneers. Now, as far as the order, the times of the games, let's see if I can pull that up real quick. Let's see if I could pull up the times of the games. Hold on a second, y'all. Bear with me. Bear with me. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sunday. Next Sunday. New England and Denver is at 3:00. And then the Rams and the Seahawks are at 6:00. So those are the games next weekend. Patriots and Broncos at 3, Seahawks and Rams at 6:30. So there you have it. So with that being said, 45 minutes. At least I ain't do an hour. I was so hoping to not get to an hour, and I'm not going to. It is time for me to go. I have to go back to work tomorrow after having a 3-day weekend. So it is a wrap for this video. Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support of the podcast. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. If you haven't, I say it again. Right there on the bottom of the screen, subscribe to the channel. hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so that way once a video is uploaded, you will get a notification letting you know I dropped a new video. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, tell a friend and tell a friend, all that good stuff. In closing, y'all know how this goes. This has been another video of Sports Way with Dre Day podcast. Catch you on the flip side. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here.